This CNN reporter just slammed a MAGA Republican live on air for contradicting himself while defending Trump's big beautiful bill. I know it's quite common to see Republicans twisting themselves into pretzels to spin a narrative, but I don't think I've seen anything this bad before. And what's even crazier is the fact that it just keeps on going. So make sure you watch till the end because it gets funnier and funnier as you watch it. Just take a look at this.
Of Texas. He sits on the Financial Services and Oversight Committee. Congressman, always great to see you. You know, Elon Musk has got 220 million followers on Twitter. He told people to call their congressman. What have you been hearing on the phone lines?
Well, in fact, what Elon Musk is saying is, as one of the largest entrepreneurs in the world, he does not want to see America, just like I don't, and I don't think Donald Trump does, want to see us be in deficit spending. We recognize that deficit spending is how you get inflation. So what Elon Musk is doing is using his tactical skill set that he has learned in the marketplace. Members of Congress, senators, members of Congress need to recognize that it is our responsibility to lower the deficit, and that is by changing or making less the amount of money that we spend or the amount of money that we allow to be in tax cuts. But the tax cuts are there to move the economy. They're there to bring back all over this nation, whether it be in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, or wherever, bring back business. And that is what our bill is designed to do. We are comparing the money against where it was set with Barack Obama in 2009. And that is a tough structure. And we're going to make it, and I think the American people will have confidence. We're going to make this America not only great again, but will be in the golden age. And this is what Donald Trump is trying to impress upon
Congressman,
people.
You just talked about your opposition to deficit spending. The CBO,
I do.
Congressional Budget Office, just put out figures that this will add $2.4 trillion to the national debt.
And that is after they then took into account something which I also struggle with, and that is tariffs. But the bottom line is that this has to come together as a piece of legislation. You see, John, if we do not pass our one big beautiful bill, then we negotiate with Democrats, essentially 9 Democrats, that simply raises spending to get us to where we get the tax cuts that we save them where they ought to be. So it is no question about it, not a perfect battle for us.
But I don't understand.
Republicans.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Congressman, but I don't understand. You talk about the bottom line. The CBO says the bottom line is literally $2.4 trillion additional debt. This is a bill that you support, but you're also against adding to the debt. How can that be?
Well, it's going to go through the Senate, and we're going to find out what the Senate wants to do, and then we're going to make the final vote. I don't want to have any deficit spending, but what I'm trying to suggest to you is that we are stuck in a paradigm where we have to pass this ourselves. And as you know, there are lots of arguments about raising state and local taxes to where we had members that are in what might be called blue states. So it's a balance there. That is maybe almost $1 trillion. And so what we're trying to do is balance out where the American people get jobs and job creation. We really don't want to see people just leave these blue states because of taxes that they can't afford their property. So it is not a perfect world, John.
Is Elon Musk right? Is this putting the United States in debt slavery?
Well, if we actually go to $2.4 trillion after what the Senate does, then I think we're going to have to look at how we're going to come in and do something about that. But remember, what we did is we compromised. People like myself compromised. I'm also against raising state and local taxes. But we don't want everybody to move to Texas or Florida or Georgia. We want them to have a home too, and so we're trying to accommodate a lot of people. That is a big price.
Do you think this will increase the debt by $2.4 trillion?
I think that if we fail to keep business here, if we fail to help communities that are in trouble, the federal government will spend more money. I see the federal government spending less money if people become employed. If we do the things that we're trying to do with health care to encourage people to stay healthy as opposed to expensive surgeries and being sick. Yes, I think there are a whole lot of ways for us to do this, John. It's a scorecard you look at, and I do too. And while I'm not happy with it, I did compromise my vote on state and local taxes, and I did it for my colleagues and for people who live in these high tax states. I used to live in New Jersey when I was up at Bell Labs, in the middle 80s. And those are good people, and they have decided that they were going to raise their taxes, and we need to help keep business and people there. So I compromised myself. Isn't that kind of what we want us to do also? Yes. But do we want to have a debt? No, we don't.
Congressman Pete Sessions, it's going to be an interesting summer.
Yeah, that was really bad. He starts by saying that he doesn't support deficit spending, but then defends a bill that adds $2.4 trillion to the national debt. And then when the reporter actually calls him out on it, he just starts rambling about tax cuts, Elon Musk, people moving to Florida, even property taxes in New Jersey from the 1980s, like that somehow explains anything. And the best part is, this reporter just doesn't let it slide. He presses him over and over again, and the more he pushes, the more tangled up Pete Sessions gets. This is what happens when Republicans try to defend Trump's agenda. They know it doesn't make sense, they know it's full of contradictions, but they've boxed themselves in, so all they can do is spin it and hope nobody notices. But boy did we notice. And we've got the clip that nobody can deny.